In this lesson, let's talk about travel and adventure. Hello, my name is Maddie from POC English, and in this lesson, we are going to learn some phrases, collocations, and idioms about traveling and adventure. Now, for this lesson, I decided to do something slightly different. And so, I'll be presenting the lesson on this big screen for you as a slideshow. Let's see if you guys like it. The first idiom we want to learn together is get itchy feet. Now, what are feet? Feet are these. When you get itchy feet, what does that mean? Well, get itchy feet means to have a strong desire to travel, to go somewhere. Get itchy feet. Now, how do we use it in a sentence? Let's see an example. Every summer, he gets itchy feet and starts planning his next trip. Do you get itchy feet? Let's go to the next one. Now, you want to go on a journey. A very good phrasal verb. To say start a journey is set out. If you set out on a journey, that means you start or begin a trip or a journey. For example, early in the morning, they set out on a journey to explore the mountains. They set out on a journey. They started their journey. Now, let me teach you some adjectives which are related to traveling and going on a journey. The first one is a pleasant journey. Now, as the name suggests, pleasant journey is a journey that you enjoy, a journey that's free from trouble. For example, I hope you have a pleasant journey this summer. I hope you have a pleasant journey this summer. But what if your journey is not pleasant? You can use a very interesting adjective. Let me show you. Arduous. Arduous journey is a journey that is difficult and requires a lot of effort. It's not easy. It's arduous. For example, the explorers faced an arduous journey through the mountains. The explorers faced an arduous journey, a very difficult journey, a very demanding journey through the mountains. Do you like an arduous journey? I prefer a pleasant journey. You see how you can use these in sentences? Let's move on to the next collocation. What if you're on a journey and the journey is so long and you're tired? Well, at that point, you may want to break the journey. Break the journey. What does it mean? Well, to break the journey means to stop or to pause during a long trip, often to rest. You're driving and you've been driving for 5 hours nonstop. You're so tired and you decide to break the journey. For example, we decided to break the journey with a stop in a small town to rest before continuing. Decided to break the journey. A phrase similar to break a journey is to have a stopover. To have a stopover. What does it mean? It means to make a short stay at a place during a long journey, usually overnight. You're on a long journey. It takes you 2 days to get to your destination and you say, hey, tonight, let's have a stopover. Look at this. You find a motel and you say, let's have a stopover. For example, on our way to Sydney, we had a stopover in a motel to rest. You can't drive for 2 days in a row, right? You need to have a stopover. Or another similar one. You're driving on the road. You need to refuel your car and you need to rest and you need to eat something. So you may want to make a pit stop. To make a pit stop, oh, look at that. Here's a gas station and there is a restaurant. Let's stop, refuel, and get something to eat. Let's make a pit stop. Let's take a short break during our journey to rest, to eat, or to refuel. For example, we made a pit stop at a roadside diner to grab some food. We were tired and we said, hey, we also need to refuel the car, so might as well make a pit stop. All right, now what are some things that people usually do on a trip? Let's talk about those, right? The first one is try the local cuisine. The local cuisine is basically the local food. So you travel somewhere and you say, let's explore some of the local restaurants. Let's see what these people eat. Let's try some local meals. Let's enjoy the local food. That is, try the local cuisine. For example, when we visited Italy, we made sure to try the local cuisine, including authentic pizza and pasta. If you go to Italy, make sure you try the local cuisine. It's just another thing you can do is to take a guided tour, especially if you're going to historical places. To take a guided tour means to join a tour led by an experienced tour guide. And the tour guide has a lot of knowledge about that historical site or the place you're visiting. And that means the tour guide can guide you on your tour. For example, we decided to take a guided tour of the ancient ruins to learn more about their history. We decided to take a guided tour because we wanted to understand the history behind the ancient ruins, and so we took a guided tour. What's another thing people usually do when they're on a trip? How about going sightseeing? If you're a tourist, this is a must. As a tourist, you might want to go sightseeing when you visit a new town. To go sightseeing means to visit and explore famous or interesting places in an area. You travel to London and you must go sightseeing. For example, on our first day in London, we went sightseeing and visited Big Ben. If you're a nature lover, another thing you can do while traveling is to go off the beaten track. Go off the beaten track. What does it mean? Look at the picture. Is she someplace crowded? No, not many people are there. To go off the beaten track means to explore places that are not well known, to explore places that are away from the usual tourist spots. Not many tourists know about these places, and you decide to go and explore them. That is, going off the beaten track. For example, we decided to go off the beaten track and found a peaceful hidden lake. Do you like going off the beaten track? Well, personally, if I have an off-road car, I would definitely do it. But without a car, it's difficult or maybe impossible, right? Now, let's talk about different types of travelers. Ready? Let's go. The first type of traveler is intrepid. Intrepid. Intrepid travelers are travelers who are very brave and adventurous. They're not afraid of trying new things. They are intrepid, bold, brave. For example, the intrepid traveler explored areas of the Amazon rainforest. The intrepid traveler explored areas of the Amazon rainforest because he was not afraid and he wanted to do something adventurous. Next type of traveler is seasoned traveler. Seasoned, as in pepper and salt? No. Seasoned traveler is a traveler who's experienced. A traveler who knows what to do when he or she is on a trip. For example, as a seasoned traveler, she knew how to find the best local restaurants. Because she had experience, she knew how to find the perfect places to eat. She was a seasoned traveler. What is another type of traveler? Adventurous. Adventurous travelers are travelers who love adventure. For example, the adventurous traveler decided to try skydiving during his trip to Japan. The adventurous traveler decided to try skydiving. Are you brave enough to try that? Personally, I can't. I'm afraid of flying, let alone jumping out of the airplane. I would die. I'm not a fan of skydiving. Are you? Now that we've talked about different types of traveler, let's talk money. When you are traveling, you need to make sure that you have enough money and you've planned your budget. So let's talk about money a little bit, shall we? A very nice idiom to use is budget doesn't stretch to something. Budget doesn't stretch to something. What does it mean? If your budget does not stretch to doing something, that means you do not have enough money to do it. You cannot afford it. Your budget doesn't stretch to doing that. For example, our budget does not stretch to dining at a fancy restaurant every night. Our budget doesn't stretch. We cannot afford that. We can't afford going to a fancy restaurant every night. So what should we do? Maybe one of the things you need to do in this case is to travel on a shoestring. Travel on a shoestring? What does it mean? If you travel on a shoestring, you travel with very little money and without spending a lot of money. You go to the cheapest hotels or even a hostel or a motel. You don't go to fancy restaurants. You make your own meals. For example, they managed to travel on a shoestring by staying in hostels. They did not go to hotels. They stayed in hostels, and so they traveled on a shoestring. They didn't spend a lot of money. So if you really want to enjoy your trip, you need to have a budget, and then you need to stick to your budget. Stick to your budget. What does it mean? It means to carefully follow your planned amount of money for spending. How much money have you planned to spend on this 5-day trip? Stick to it. Write down your expenses. For example, they had to stick to their budget, so they avoided expensive attractions. They had a set budget, they wanted to stick to it, and so they decided to avoid expensive attractions. But what happens if you don't stick to your budget? You may go over budget. There is no money left, so you won't be able to enjoy your trip. Go over budget means to spend more money than you originally planned or allocated. For example, they went over budget on their vacation by staying in a more expensive hotel. They stayed in a more expensive hotel, and so they could not stick to their budget. They went over budget. They spent more than they had planned. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Let me know if you like this new style. And if you do, I'll make sure I record more videos like this. Plus, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, click subscribe. See ya!